Oh, no, I am muted. I do that every time. Oh, man. Thank you. Guest, my surprise guest. So, hello, guys. Welcome. Geez, I know after practice I'll get this right. Okay. So, my name is Vix Crow. You can call me Crow, Fox, whichever comes to mind. I have no preference. But welcome and thank you for coming. So, let's get started. So, this is kind of the intro here. Welcome to the Hangout. It's kind of a series of conversations that I want to bring to you, but thanks to my friends that are willing to show up and stuff. So I'm kind of calling this little hour a speakeasy, you know, it's kind of a little late for me, but I wanted to get started on some things and have some live practice. So I'm kind of calling this let me get this screen together, the stories by author, kind of a collection of things in which, you know, my friends can tell you right from the start. Thank you, social media. So let me get started, not waste any more of anyone's time, and introduce you to my friend, my dear friend, DS. Hey,
Hello.
DS.
Hi. Oh my God. How are you? You look beautiful. Wow.
Stop. You're too much. I am so grateful that you're here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I feel like this is like a little late night, like a little Gen vibe.
Yeah.
Zen. I feel like I'm gonna
Yes.
tone it down a little bit because I'm usually like, whoa.
Hey. Yeah, everyone is so happy you're here, DS. Yes, I'm so happy. Oh my gosh, DS. Yes, everyone is here. Yes, DS. Okay, so here's the vibe here. You're so dead on, kind of like a speakeasy, like
Yeah.
stories by author, like you yourself, because you're a publisher, you're a writer, you're well established. I know very well what I've been seeing lately. Let me show you. Let's see here, y'all.
Ooh.
Oh, you're so
Yes.
funny.
I
I'm
love
trying
it.
you're so sweet. I'm trying to like play and introduce my friends, like, in the multitude of their creative zones, for everyone. And everyone that's been helping support me through my career is here tonight. And everyone, yourself included, that works in the biz with me, like, you know, just all the things. So I wanted to show everyone kind of this accomplishment here real quick. I'm not supposed to show you
Oh.
where the sausage is made here, but I'm like, woo, clicking all the buttons.
That's our
Um,
photo shoot.
Yes, correct. Yes, and I'm wishing, like, I hope that it would play, but I don't wanna I'm so bad at clicking the buttons here. See, okay. So, look, guys, let's go back to this last slide. So these are some of his accomplishments in the last couple of, posts, and that's why it's kind of fun to bring, like, a conversation by the author, your story of who you are, how amazing you are, and how you've really helped the division, like, find a voice in this social space. So that's why I think it's really important that you being one of the first lovely guests that we have in our nest so we can get started. And so, I mean, can you just share a little bit to get us started on like this Emmy, all these who, just,
Who am I? Is that what it is?
who am I? Yeah, please tell me too. Give me some
Oh,
fitness.
thank you. Thank you for showcasing. First of all, I love that photo shoot. It was just like impromptu, just like I was wearing your jacket in your house. It was just beautiful. So thank you for that photo shoot. That was such an honor. Well, I guess you're talking about my Emmy. No, this is honestly, it really means a lot because that is for my documentary I did with NBC on Emmett Till. And so I did a three-part documentary over 2 years. And I was just kind of going, because Emmett Till's from Chicago, so we filmed a lot in Chicago. We went to Mississippi to film some of the documentary, and I was able to earn 2 Emmys throughout that process. So I'm very, very proud of it. I know that a lot of you guys know me just to ring the bell, but I'm also full-time journalist slash video producer, documentarian. I really don't really talk about that side of me a lot. Yeah.
Bring it. Come on. I know this is the side I recognize. Bring it. I mean, Bring it, DS.
Yeah.
Tell us,
You
how is it? What is your like, how do you stay inspired? How do you put pen to paper? All these things
right.
that we love, you know?
So as you kind of know through Ring the Bell, it's kind of similar in the sense that my way of expression is through video, and I love video filming. I love editing. I really like sharing story through video. So for my full-time job with NBC, I'm just really passionate about telling stories that people might want to know about, or they're interested to know about, but things that might not be accessible, or things might be forgotten, or things could be conveyed more through visual medium. So that's why I'm very passionate about documentaries and news reporting through visual medium, storytelling through visual medium, and that's something that I'm really passionate about. So it's everywhere from creating TikTok videos to making a full hour documentary. I'm just like all for it. Yeah. Wait.
Yeah, because I'm just like in awe and ooh and over here. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I know that's so impressive, and DS, honestly, like my question to you too is like, all of us feel like storytellers today because we can, and like I
Right.
think it's been really intriguing. Like, don't want to say like, I'm trying to get that out of my vocab, guys. Hearing with you and your passions, what you see, how you express the world in your eye, and how you share it with us. Like, and I get moved by your documentaries, all your programs, all your stuff. And I just wonder, like, how do you keep, how do you start? How do you start? Like,
How do I
that's just,
start? Well, I think the first of all, I think the first thing is that you need to be passionate about the story. And I think that comes with kind of like the natural curiosity you have. You are curious about other people's story. You're curious about, what happened there. So for example, I feel like not to what's the word? Boast my own toot. I don't know, sometimes
hey, you're
English is
here
hard.
with us. No, we love it. You
My
posting here.
ESL is a little hard. I'm boasting, just to boast a little bit. I feel like the reason why my interviews on Ring the Bell like really resonate with a lot of the people, a lot of women's wrestling fans, is because I'm a big women's wrestling fan myself, so I'm genuinely curious about some of the questions I'm asking. So I think that having that passion for the story you're telling is so important, because if you're not that interested, the viewer can tell that you're not interested. Yeah.
So how do you figure, like, do you think it's in like the editing and like your videos, because they're very like enriched with photos, so then you're like out of nowhere you're like, oh, ooh, that's what I'm saying. And it's
Right.
just so amazing, like I said, with all your creativity, how do you choose? Like, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
So the second part, I think, is kind of like when what you're talking about with editing. The second part is after you know that you're interested in story, now is the time for you to think about what the audience or the viewers would be interested in and how they want to hear the story. Because you can tell your story however the way you want, but if the person hearing the story is not interested, it's the story won't be here. It won't be heard, and you want your story to be heard, right? So I do think a lot about like how do the viewers want to hear the story. So when we're talking about the story, so when I'm interviewing you, we're talking about like certain stuff that happened, back in 2006, 2008, whatever. I'm showing that videos because in my mind, like it's playing, right? And I kind of want to visualize that process. And I know that in your mind, when we're talking about these moments, it's playing in your head. So I want the viewers to see it too. And that's how they want to share. That's how they share their experience. So that's how I kind of think about with my editing process and how I structure the video, how I structure this conversation. That's how I always kind of think about, like, first of all, am I interested? Second of all, how do I get you to be interested in hearing this full story?
That is just amazing to me. It's amazing to me. I love it. I absolutely love it, because it's like,
Thank you.
just really, I just love it because it's such a powerful gift that you share, because for me, I get public speaking, I'm not shy about it. It's not a thing, guys. Like I'm shy, and I'm goofy, but like early, like from when I can remember, like in grade school, doing like oral presentations would always like get me in the core. So it's just cool because I've always wanted to share stories, but then I get all like,
Yeah.
and then I just we get nervous. But now, like I said, since everyone's on a stream, I was like, I want to get on stream too.
But you were also kind of you had to be in the ring and like cut promos in front of thousands of people. Didn't that kind of like like I don't know, like you got out of your cocoon and like start becoming a butterfly through that process, right?
Good question. I mean, it's funny because like I reflect on those moments in the ring and I'm like, oh my God, because I'm critiquing and judging my performance and not experiencing it for the tool. And I think now because I'm not doing it right now where I'm like, it's easier to be like, what, realize like, wait a minute, just I can't even, but Little Fox was different than like me now, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But you're right. Like, I think in a sense of being vulnerable and sharing how you create a timeline, maybe like
Right.
like how you like not so much as even like I guess in a practical sense, let's just say like building a reel and you're putting
Hmm.
your own photos, your own day in there, your own spin on stuff. And I think sometimes like it is a good like sense of expression. You're like, that moment was good, and it was like good, but to what it's just creatively fun and expressing. Like I feel like it is an interesting thing of vulnerability. Like it's kind of like I don't know, because I when I post and I see it's on the thing, I'm like
Hmm.
looking at it like I'm an observer as well. And I'm like,
Right.
uh-oh. That's fine. But it's just,
No,
I just love that you have that courage to do it
yeah, but you
professionally.
know what? I talk about this all the time. I'm ESL, so my first language is not English. It's not English. Korean is my first language. I grew up in Korea until I turned 18, 17, whatever. So I came to college here. So even in my like freshman year, my English was still very like not good. But I think I really got confident speaking publicly since I started Ring the Bell. And before that, I would never even think about like doing public speaking, like never even thinking about doing YouTube at all. But because I had like nobody to talk to about women's wrestling, I was just like, let me just start it so I have some wrestling friends. And it pushed me to speak more. And I think I would botch idioms all the time, but it's okay. I think at this point, people kind of get it. And you know what moment I think about a lot?
What? Tell me.
When someone as veteran as Lillian Garcia would say Alicia Keys instead of Alicia Fox.
It's so funny. I get asked about that question a lot. It's so funny. That day was so funny because sometimes I think too, like when we're mentioning earlier about like the these millions and thousands of folks there, like I kind of that was definitely a tool for like getting motivated and inspiration and like focus and stuff. But I tell you what, like I don't know if the crowd really I couldn't allow it to be my reality walking and trying to get to the business, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
it's like, again, it's so funny how reflecting on just a few moments, like have so much internal, so much, oh,
Um,
but like speaking to you and stuff, like when you came over, that was so really nice and so just magic. So I'm so grateful that you're able to share your time right now. Thank you so much. Like,
thank you, thank you.
yeah, I want to hear more about this ring the bell. Like, so yeah,
Yeah.
having someone to socialize about women's wrestling and everything else. Like, what treasures did you find amongst your friends? Like, how did that develop even? I'm so curious. I love it. Sorry. Thank you for letting me be
No.
curious with you.
No, I think curiosity.
I
That's
love
like the
it.
most important thing. I don't know. I've just like so I worked for WWE for like maybe like half a year, maybe. Like I was in the social team, and like I was there, but it was just like not exactly what I thought I'd be. I don't know. It was my dream to work there for a little bit, and like when I worked there, it was just like not exactly what I thought it would be. So I was like, you know
Tell
what,
us.
like
I mean, it's a
it was.
normal feeling.
It's like, but you know what? It was definitely a feeling of like you're a very little wheel of a huge machine was like the vibe. But also I was like stuck in Connecticut. I did not like Connecticut. I'm sorry. Like probably the part that I was in Stanford was not great. But
Stanford. I didn't live there, but oh, sorry. Sounds nice.
Yeah. It was just, I mean, it was definitely like the memory that I would never change for my life, but it was also not like not exactly something that I was like, oh, I want to do this like forever. So, but I also like never really had wrestling friends in my life. I would always just like watch it alone. Or I would like force some friends to watch it with me. In Korea, not many people watch it. So I was just like,
Oh.
I really want friends to like talk wrestling with. But then I realized that, well, I make videos, I can edit well, and then I realized that on YouTube there weren't very many like women's wrestling content. I was like, you know what? Like this is an opportunity. Like I really want to like create something, meet some new friends, and start a conversation, start a community. And that's kind of like how it started. And like really, and then I also it was a good time to start the channel because it was in 2018. That's when like the evolution, revolution, that stuff
Woo!
happened.
I love it. Yeah,
So
what perfect timing.
yeah, it was like really when things were heating up. I mean,
Mhm.
with that, I have to say like props to like people like from Diva Dirt that was like
Yes.
that was really
Yeah.
keeping it going when things were really hard. I mean,
Mhm.
really big props to them. I honestly like the people that trended give divas a chance. Those are like heroes. I am very thankful that I like started women this ring the bell when like the women's wrestling were like heating up. So I can't like take credit for those, but I was lucky with that. And then I interviewed Melina like pretty early on the channel, and she was at a drag con, and I was at drag con, and we just
Yeah.
like were talking. We filmed an interview, and then she talked about at that time like Naomi brought up Melina as like a dream opponent. And so I talked to her about it, and then like that got picked up by all the news outlet, wrestling news outlet, and that kind of became like a little small explosion that like kind of became a thing.
Love it. I love it. Yeah, totally. And Melina and Trin would do great, right? That'd be great
Yeah,
match.
yeah. Seriously.
Geez,
Yeah.
there's so many dream matches. Like honestly, like what would your ultimate dream match be? Like, I mean, and maybe the stipulation, like how would it you see it building up? Like either rump off of rump, that's a tricky question. It's got to be compact, right?
That is a
I
tricky question.
mean,
Oh my
why
god.
not? There's so much wrestling everywhere, DS, and because you cover it. That
Mhm.
like it's nice to see the girls in Impact or TNA shining. There's other that it's NWA like Camille.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of hers. A fan of Jordan Grace. I'm a fan of Red Velvet. I'm a fan of Brett Baker. I'm a fan of all these women, and then I get to meet Jada Stone in person, and my mind's blown. Like I'm experiencing wrestling like I really missed in my younger like youth. So I'm
Yeah.
loving sharing it with you right now. This is so eye opening. Thank you. But as you were saying, I'm sorry.
You know, the one of the dream match for sure. I loved your interaction with Jordan Grace.
Oh, I love Jordan Grace. I really am a huge fan of hers. Like watching her first get to Impact TNA, and she
Mhm.
was like seemed young in the face.
Yeah.
Like even I think this want to say like during the pandemic, I watched a lot of wrestling, like because I was at home and I started to like fangirl over
Uh-huh.
particular girls and their careers. And then maybe because I was witnessing it too from the experience. But then I saw her kind of do her thing and then and
Yeah.
meet her in person. She's so nice. Oh, that makes me even more like
No, Jordan's probably one of the like most exciting wrestlers like right now. Like I love seeing her wrestle, and I saw her like interacting with you, and I'm like, this is a match I want to see. I wanted to see Jordan versus
Oh,
Trinity, and then Jordan versus Vix Crow. I feel like okay,
you're
that's a
so
dream match right
sweet.
there.
I
But
love
also
that.
the other dream match I have was like I always like loved the idea of Survivor Series, like 5-on-5. And Trish and Lita, they came back, and then they came back to like really like the Trish versus Becky Lynch that cage match. She was like, okay, like because so many people would love bashing on Divas division. They're like, oh, Divas can't hang with the current division, whatever.
What?
Uh,
Who
yeah,
says that?
so many people say that, like
Oh, I never heard it.
it's like
Oh.
always like the current women's division is like so much more advanced. Like I hate that whole like everyone talk about that. So I feel like in a way that Trish kind of like proved that wrong. But I feel like the era that WWE always like to kind of skip over is the era between Trish and Lita and the Divas Evolution, which is like you, Kelly, Beth Phoenix, Melina, Mickey James, Eve Torres. So I would love to see that era Survivor Series with the current era, like 5-on-5.
That would
Let's
be
go.
I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. I love it. And like, I guess like I'm gonna hit the chat for a second. It's like, Alicia, if you had a tag team partner to be your women's tag team championships, with
Ooh.
who would it be? Let's see. I love Naya. Like, you know why? Because she's a whole story. You know what I'm saying? Like I see myself working with her, against her, with her, against her. It doesn't matter. Bad guy, good, bad guy, whatever. But probably Naya right now. But I mean, as you were saying, DS, like you're right. Like it's so funny that like I have not heard that the Diva era couldn't hang with the current era. I hadn't heard that. But it's funny, maybe
Um,
not. But why not? I mean, that's the thing. Like the interesting thing about that is I mean, it's just a possibility of still happening one day, maybe one day.
right,
It just seems like
right.
that's the art about wrestling. So it would be, I don't know, because I just, anyway, more about
Yeah.
you.
No.
Let's talk about you because I'm here for
Wait,
you.
I want
This
to
is
because
you.
I want to just say quickly because like I think most women's wrestling fans know that the Divas era the talents were always there, but like the Divas era we didn't get a lot of opportunities back then. But I think some of the more casual fans don't really recognize that there was kind of a the amount of time and support that women get now versus the amount of time and support women get back then was different. I don't think casual fans know that. Maybe that's why they're talking about that
Hmm.
discrepancy. But I know that you can kick some ass
You're so
like
funny.
anytime.
I gotta get some conditioning in, guys. I'll be honest, but that's like kind of the plan, right? Like, for myself, like even thinking that as I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, it becomes like in my possible brain. It's like, okay, well, I'm still planning on getting some conditioning in and everything else because I feel that it's just a good thing to keep up with. Um, but there's so many things I want to do too, and
Right.
it's like it's a whole different experience knowing that I could work with Jordan Grace, like, or just these, it makes it really exciting because everyone is capable of working. So this is like, I feel kind of like, it was inspiring watching Trin go in her
Yeah.
journey and everything and where she's going. It's like
Yeah.
these stories by the authors continue. I love it. It's amazing to me. It's amazing. It's just cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to hear a
Mhm.
little bit about Ring the Bell. Like, is there any, like, there's someone in the chat here. I'm going to try and go back and find it. And they're asking, like, who your dream interview would be. I mean, because you do and have them around. You've got a collection of great, insight and everything.
Right. Right. So you know that I've been saying that you were my dream interview for a long, long time.
You're so funny. Oh my gosh.
So that was a dream come true moment for sure. I feel like my current dream, like for this year, and I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I really want to do an interview with Jillian Hall.
Yes.
And yeah, and like do a karaoke segment afterwards. I feel like it would be so fun. I feel like she doesn't do a lot of interviews, and I feel like she has a lot to talk about.
Does she not? Like, I know it's so I see her on Instagram a lot, though. So,
She
like
does post a lot.
yeah, so it's like, but she wants to chat, you know? Have you tried to reach out yet?
I did, I did. We've
Okay,
been talking. I feel like she
okay.
said she doesn't think it's the right time right now. So, you know, everyone has their time on when they want to share their story. So I respect that. I know that everyone's like, Jillian Hall, you know, they all want like Michelle McCool, but you know, the time will come.
That's so cool. Yeah, so that's so nice, like, as, like, especially a writer and telling stories, because there's so many different dynamics of, like, let's just say, like, across the board, like, uh TMZ storytellers. Like, they're probably not as conscious about, like, the time of telling someone's
Right,
story, but,
right,
you know, I still respect the fact that they tell stories, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
right. You know,
creatively yeah. Go on, please.
honestly, when I first started, so when I do interviews, I do a lot of research. So I listen to all the past interviews and stuff like that to kind of like get the sense of, you know, what they like to talk about, what's their style and all that. And I was shocked to find out that a lot of the interviews were like, I don't even know how to say it. They all the time they're just ask about their relationships or like I don't know, like the stereotypical things that you like. Oh, you think that some of the female athlete might be asked. They get asked, and it just kind of like I was kind of shocked about it. Like even when I was talking to Alundra Blaze Medusa, everyone of course asked her about the trash can incident, but
Yes.
nobody asked her like, why does she do it when it comes to like her career and like women's wrestling? They were all just asking about like the politics stuff and Eric Bischoff, whatever, which I don't really know about. And I was kind of shocked about that. So I really want like, and I know that a lot of the wrestlers are kind of jaded by that like clickbaity questions and stuff like that. So I really want to like make sure that the people that I interview, um, they have the support, and we're just here. We are just really just we love them, and we just want. It's like a fun time that we're sharing stories, instead of like I'm trying to like get you, you know.
Yeah, totally, yeah. I love how like, yeah, there's so many different layers to that because it
Right.
is kind of like the series of questions that help people feel comfortable and, like, wanna
Hmm.
share and, develop conversation and everything because it definitely is a different but, I mean, it's kind of interesting as you're saying that because 'cause you're right, like, some of like, at first leaving WWE, like, I still don't really care much to do interviews just because of the idea in my mind that is like, I hope it's not something that's gonna be, like, cut, paste, clip, 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 like,
Hmm.
because it's almost at the speed of lightning, I can't even catch up, you know?
Right.
Um and so then it kind of goes into the experience of what in my mind, I'm just gonna say, like, assume would happen in that situation. And it's like, well, I don't really want to be, all tight and cringed up and not able to provide like decent speech, So it's like, I don't know, the
Right.
anxiety that's what kind of like whatever. But, I guess it's just kind of like that's not happen, so it could still be something that I'm still making up in my head, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And you know, I try to ask questions that fans are actually like curious about. There are like stuff that I feel like only women's wrestling fans know because what yeah, like the remember that moment with Nia Jax and you with the tissue?
Yes,
Like
I love
we
it.
would remember.
That is what's interesting. So that's what's so cool about you, like, speaking about women's wrestling, because you can, like, pick up memories like that and bring them up and, like, see what's going on here, like, the whole all of it. And, yeah, women's wrestling is, like, the unique kind because I love, like, being in the ring. We were able to do girly things like hair beals, things like the boys I mean, I don't know. boys running and throwing each other by the hair. Yes and no, but like specifically, like, or when we did makeup matches and all those gimmick matches, they still told stories. Like we still had like
Right.
a whole psychology. We still had like, safety to, we had a lot of passion about the story we were telling, no matter what match it was. I mean, regardless if it's a makeup match or a cage match, like I think the art of it is still there. I don't know. But
Right.
I don't think anyone
Absolutely.
disagrees about that. But it is interesting how you're saying like some of the new viewers or the newer, wouldn't remember that time. But even before, like Ivory and the other, other women that paved our path, like I wonder, and that's why I'm excited to kind of have conversations so I can learn even more about this stuff, like from the their authoring perspective, right?
Right. Right.
I,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
I just I get so deep here when it comes to just sharing because it was like a deep
Yeah.
experience, I guess.
Right. No, I think, but there's also with the women's wrestling fans and the women's wrestler, and that's why it's like even being invited to be here is like so special because there's like different level of like I feel like the women's wrestling fan have like different level of connectivity with the idols on the screen like you and like all the wrestlers because like you guys all had like like great character, but you guys also like just the way you strut down the ring, like the fashion that you had. It was just full package. It wasn't just wrestling inside the ring, but it was like the presentation, just the attitude. It was just like a full character, really resonated with all of us. I think there's like it's like almost like a deeper level of connection with like the Diva era wrestlers. I don't know.
I love that. Thank you. Tell us more. Yeah, you're right. Like, it's funny because even when I was in developmental, I was watching, Raw and everything and like seeing how Candice Michelle came out and she had her moment. And then like how all the girls were still different. And just even as a young girl playing with different dolls and toys, they had their
Right.
own things. And man, how fun. Like. I feel like such a young self again, and I love, like, that we're able to talk about it, and I'm feeling younger and younger by it's like, oh, I love it. You bring so much youth in my life. I love you so much, DS. Thank you so much.
What? No, thank you for having me seriously. And
Mm.
like it is such an exciting season, Royal Rumble, because that's when we like think about all these like surprise entrances and like who might be back. So this is honestly my favorite time of the year.
That is so funny, and I agree, and I know we talked a little bit before our stream when we were kind of mentioning, like, Rumble and everything, and I was like, "Well, maybe I'll try to go through a little memory lane." I'm not sure.
Ooh.
I'm not but this is not y'all, this is, like, just like a, "Uh-oh, we gotta figure this out," but I'm just
I
figuring out my
love
streaming,
it.
so I was just gonna,
You
like,
know,
yeah,
ah,
tell me
yeah.
well, I was just gonna say, I was just like, "Well, what was going on?" And I just Googled, "What was Alicia Fox doing at Rumble?" And I'm like, "Wait, I need to think about this."
No, because I was like, you had quite a lot of like iconic moments in the Rumble.
It's yeah, it's so I mean, when I looked at these clips, I was like
Mhm.
first, like, I'm just gonna be honest, I'm looking at my hair, I'm like, "Oh god," that's where I'm like, "Oh, jeez," you know? And then then I get, like, calm down, and I'm like, "Oh,
Mhm.
man." I'm like, "Yeah, that was so fun because I can" like, I'm looking at my gear, and, like, I was like, "I really love the captain stuff," and then I meant I clipped this together quickly, but, like, these are 2 of, like, my
Ah.
favorite opponent, and obviously my favorite year going out, which on the Google, it said it was 2019, so I'm like, "Oh, nice,
I
2019."
I don't know if the chat can help us with this, but are you the first person ever to win championship during a Rumble match?
You know what? Yes, sir, I am. That was
Yes.
this was so 2021. That's what the Google said. But yeah, so that was exciting. When it or well, our truth came and took it from me. Or took it like, all the things. You probably remember better than I do.
Which one?
You're the 24/7 championship.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm like, it's funny, guys. I'm like playing in the chat and clicking buttons. Oh, first woman. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it,
First
guys.
woman, okay.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the fun thing too, is like I think my favorite pay-per-view season was SummerSlam
Mm.
because it were like, it had all of the colors and it was just like cartoony. I don't know. It was just kind of like the middle, like it in my professional experience, it just felt like a time where you could kind of project if you were going to be going toward a mania situation or your
Mhm.
character was going to have different participating parts, and
Mm.
like it just seemed like, I mean, because there is no off season, so that gets like part of why I get kind of like I got to go back in like the memory. I'm like, what was that? Because of that repetition of just like
Right,
it
right,
was just ongoing.
right.
Um, and that's fine. It's funny because that habit runs in my regular life where I think like laundry, grocery store, and I'm like, no, 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 no. I don't gotta go anywhere right now. But like, I guess what I'm saying is like, yeah, like during SummerSlam, it just seemed like, oh, it's warmer outside. Like it was an instant like
Mm.
environmental change, which inspired, oh my, like just you're gonna get, oh, you get to wear a bikini soon, woo, and then you're like, I'm gonna get in the gym soon, woo, and then you're like, oh, SummerSlam, and I just like liked it then, but that's all I'm saying.
I also loved your interaction with Maria Canales over a hat.
Oh, yes. I know. And that was fun too, because I was thinking about that moment too, as like if I were like, okay, if DS asked me what was my favorite Rumble moment, I would definitely say that one because
uh,
because Melina or Maria is old school, in a sense of like I ran into her or I met her in OVW. So she like really understood like the gimmick of, we kind of knew how to tell certain gimmick stories too. So it's just, I don't know. Maybe that's just my experience. But yeah, so she helped really create that spot and we both like just knew we were gonna rock and roll and have fun with it. I wish my drop kicks were, I think I did a drop kick. I wish those were a little more uh, um less rusty, whatever the word I'm looking for is, but it's fine.
no, it's someone said unbreakable hat because it truly
Oh
was. The
yeah.
hat was not breaking.
That's true. That's the best part. How crazy. That was not supposed to happen.
I
That thing.
I remember one Rumble where you came out and you were like, weren't you like crap dancing?
Yeah, that was 2019.
I
That was
love it.
also why I put that picture there because I liked oh wait, no, it's not that one. It's this one.
It's so fun. I love
That was
that
so
dance.
fun. Yeah, I was like, "No, I need to figure this thing out again." Sometimes, like, practice in my bathroom. Just kidding, no. I guess okay, enough about me. This is not about me. It's about you.
Uh,
So, what I know we kind of were talking about some things, but is there anything on your mind right now? Is there anything you want to throw down here? Or you want me to go into the chat?
Well, oh, let me see. What am I up to? Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to be at Rumble this weekend. I'm so excited about it. I'm going to be entering the Royal. We're just kidding.
Yeah, I was
No.
like, you had me going. I'm like, whoa.
No, I'm gonna be at the Rumble. I'm so excited about it. Honestly, Rumble's my favorite pay-per-view. So I'm gonna be there for this weekend. And yeah, I'm just excited to. I think a lot of the like Ring the Bell fans gonna be there too. So I'm really excited to meet a lot of the people there. So that's this weekend. So I'm super excited about it. But like last, um, let's see, from like November to now, I've been filming this documentary like every week, like extensively. Um, because Chicago, it's about Chicago winter. And Chicago winter is brutal.
Tell us, I
I can't,
mean, what in the
yeah.
world? Sorry.
No. But Chicago has a lot of, homeless issues, and right now we have like shelter issue with the migrants. So I'm following that story right now, which I'm very passionate about. So that's like my main thing that I'm like really focusing on. But so that in that same breath, I'm also
Yeah.
very excited to go to Tampa and just like enjoy the warmth for a little bit, and then come
Yeah.
back and film in the snow again. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's true. I for some reason I always forget that you're in Chicago.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, you're right, the winters and the unfortunate situation. So like, when you're telling this story, like how does it inspire the change? Like with the movement, the resolve, like how do you bring a story like once it's developed, do you keep pushing it to other media outlets to like play it, to like get awareness? Like how is the response?
So luckily I'm with NBC, so I pitch it directly to the directors to so we can like do it together. But I feel like, yes, I feel like the one of the most proud moment of being a journalist and being a storyteller is that you can create change. And that's really what warms my heart. And when it comes to the issues like, homelessness or migrant crisis, it's like a big topic that's just talked about as an entity, right?
Mhm.
But people don't people don't really like sometimes think about the individual lives. Like every lives are so important, and they all have like such different stories. And because sometimes we just talk about them as topics, we don't really think about their like individual stories. So that's what I'm doing, like telling their individual stories. So instead of just like looking at it with macro view, we can have like a little magnifying view, and we get to kind of understand their point of view. So hopefully by watching this, I'm following a couple of the families. They're so adorable. Like I know that I should be like, as journalists, I should be very like far away from the subject in a way, like
Mm.
to portray them in the most objective matter. But they're such adorable families, and I'm like falling in love with them. Um, but yeah, so I'm excited to. It's gonna come out early spring. I'm very very excited to have the documentary out.
Wow, that's amazing. And so then I guess would you do like media for your film and like, stuff like
Yeah,
that? You can
yeah.
always come on here, tell us like what you need
Thank
us
you.
to
Yeah,
do, push, like everything. Cause
yeah.
I,
No, it's really like the power of the media is like really sometimes really it's heartwarming. Like even for Ring the Bell, because like when I started Ring the Bell, I just started just so that I can talk with other wrestling fans. It's just like just to talk, giggle. But
yeah,
I get,
totally.
right. But like I get so many messages from like the viewers are like, oh my god, like you really inspired me to be like go to wrestling events and be okay with like being gay, and like being okay to like just scream for the women and like be quiet for the men's matches. Like 'cause
Yeah.
just for me, for longest time, I felt kind of uncomfortable going to wrestling shows and like be there because I would literally I was only there for women's matches because it's like a very like masculine environment even among the fans. But I am so happy that Ring the Bell is kind of creating a community that is helping people feel comfortable being themselves at these wrestling shows. I mean, that might not be like the biggest change, but I'm very like happy that I'm kind of creating that change. I'm helping to create kind of change in a small way.
I love that. Yeah, absolutely so. And that's important to hear and know that everyone is coming to the show and learning and growing through them everything. Just like you said, like a butterfly. Like we're
Yeah,
all butterflying inside. You know what I'm saying? It's
right.
it's so nice when you see you butterflying with somebody. It's nice to fly together, like
Yeah,
I love that your story about starting Ring the Bell and like what it's keep gifting, and then even I wonder like, is that enriched your experience in making the documentary? Like I know it's like because it's more real, real. informational content. I know there's probably like a whole different category for it, but wow. You blow my mind, DS. I love it. Thank you so much.
No, definitely doing Ring the Bell helps me a lot in my professional life too. Given that, because I get to try like fun editing stuff, like different type of storytelling. I try like different stuff. So with like, for example, with Lisa Victoria, we did like different types of interviews. So like we did top five, like we did, and then we did this one where like she had to guess what the fans like I gave quiz to fans and like she had to guess what the fans answered and stuff like that. So we try like different storytelling methods. And I'm using some of the ideas that I could kind of try out and Ring the Bell and use it for NBC stuff. So it's just a lot of creativity that I'm learning from Ring the Bell that I'm using for my professional career too.
Love that. That is so awesome. I can't wait. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So yeah, like I said, let's see more. I'm just in awe. Yeah, I guess like the last question I have, if that's okay, is like, okay, so what is the hope in like with your documentary and then maybe the next documentary, the next Emmy? Because like a lot of your fans here are saying, or I wouldn't say that, the other authors here are really like Emmy number two. Like, they're asking about like certain interviewed Trish. In that bodysuit and that I don't you were talking
I
about
did interview, yeah.
fashion.
I did interview Trish wearing a bodysuit.
Oh, I
I
needed to get
did.
I needed to get the image, man, but I didn't wanna surprise the guests or like, I put a
Right.
poll myself and they're like, "We prefer to have surprises," and so I was like, "Man, I really wanna tell them it's DS. Come on, guys. Come on,
And
guys. Come on,
it's
guys."
funny that those comments came together because Gabby, the person that was really nervous about was Trish, because like Trish was like my goddess growing up.
Wow, yeah.
So like I still can't even watch that video because I was like, I know that I was just like trembling inside. I was like, and then of course I was wearing like that. I went to like a designer to recreate her main event from Raw outfit. It was like a
Wow.
pleather. It was so hot, so I was like sweaty as hell. And then added to that, I was so nervous because I was talking to the goddess when I was like literally
Yes.
so young. So I was just like,
Wow.
I don't even remember what I did during the interview. And I just remember at the end, I was just like profusely sweaty. I was just like Aquaman, like just slippery everywhere. And then Trish like was trying to hug me, and I was like, "No, I'm sweaty and gross. Don't hug me." And she was like, "It's okay." And she still hugged me, and I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god." Well, yeah, that's probably I was like really nervous about that interview. Yeah.
I can't even imagine. Oh my god, but you're so brave. That's like a lot of courage, right? Like, oh my gosh, I love it. That is so crazy.
Yeah, for little DS, I'll say that was a brave act. Yeah, no, I'm very proud of that interview, but yeah, I can't watch it again because I was so nervous. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you should edit that in some of your, just, like look at me, like how much we need to make a docu-series on your journey, it's just
It's Yeah, it's funny because one of the first words I learned when I was a kid was, can I swear here?
sure.
Okay, because it was slut because
Oh.
because Trish knocked down Christy Hemme and wrote slut. It was
Oh
very
my
easy
god.
for me to learn, like spelling. It was like she wrote it down, she said it. It was like a whole quick learning experience. And I like said it in an English class and I got in trouble back in Korea.
Oh my
So
god.
from there, like me, Korean kid who can't even speak English, like fanning over like Trish Stratus to like meeting her, interviewing her, that was like a big, I don't know, it was like a mind blowing experience for me. But yeah, my ESL origin, yes.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh, and I love it. It's like so it's yeah, Trish is a baddie. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then
No,
how
I
that's
right.
I'm sorry. I just am like thinking, I'm like, and then you interviewed her, and then we're talking about like, oh my gosh, all these little
Right.
blessings.
It is kind of surprising like that. I became a journalist with a second language. It is, but I really think wrestling played a really huge role in that because I was like basically like I was like emulating the promos that you guys were doing like to like learn
Wow.
English.
Wow.
Posing for Playboy doesn't make me a slut. It was just like say stuff like little kid. So yeah, it's
This
like
is
wrestling
amazing.
me learn English.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
I, see y'all. This is amazing. It's so awesome. Yeah, because even like Frenchie, she was French, and then or
Right.
Maurice.
Right.
That's a skill. Especially English is one of the hardest languages to string or just everything, right? It's
I
one of
think
the
so,
hardest.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yes, thank you so much. I know I just like I don't want to take up any more time, but is there anything else you want to like give us a shout about, or that we
I
can send some love to you?
Yeah, I still want to come back to
Yes,
Florida
please.
to hang out with
Yes.
you.
Uh,
I
yes.
know, because Chicago winter, I need to escape. So, sometime in
Anytime.
February and March, I feel like that would be a good time. Yeah, but like, what is your conditioning routine? I want to like, I've been working out lately, and I feel like I want to learn from you.
Oh, you're so funny. Oh,
So
it's
maybe that could be our
really
video.
we could do that. We could. It is so
Yeah.
simple. It's so fun. You know what it is? A jump rope down your street, and that's
Oh,
it. And walk home. That's it.
okay.
That's all we need. And I've got so many jump ropes, and it like is something to jump roping that you're like swinging really hard, and you're in your own container. Like the cat
Yeah.
knowing. It's like it's visually. It's like yeah, I'm busy.
Yeah, I'm
It's
busy,
just
yes.
I
So
love it. But
no,
anyway, yeah,
so
enough
let's
of
let's
that.
make that happen sometimes. But I'm honestly like so grateful for this relationship that happened with you and me. Like it blossomed, and I'm like I feel like I still love the interview that we did. And still to this day, I'm like telling you, I'm like, do you feel the love from all of us? Do you feel
You're
the
so
love?
sweet. Yeah,
Because
it's
every
like
day
I
I'm
know.
sending it to you.
You so it's like every time I see you, you just again, you make me feel so young. Like you just bring so much youth and everything in my life. You're so sweet, Diaz. You're always so sweet talking about all the love in the air. It's real, y'all. It's real.
It's real.
He's the one
It's
that told
real.
me about it. I'm like, okay, out there, okay. It was real. I was like, wow.
It's real.
You've inspired this conversation, this nest. You remember we talked about it even at
We
lunch,
did.
and it
Right.
was like, a lot of growing from then and now. So I really welcome you back here any day you want, all the time, everybody. you know.
Everybody.
Everybody's also in the nest.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. So I guess I gotta figure out a creative way to close out our
Right.
zone.
Right.
Hmm.
I know. I kind of struggle with that. So I usually tell, what do you want to tell the fans? I just like, that's
Oh
how I
yeah,
end all the
totally. Pass
videos.
the heat. Yep. Ain't my bag, baby. Buy it quick.
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking that was
Yeah.
option A, guys. That's option A. So put
Yeah.
it in the chat if you want us to
Yeah.
just hang up the phone. Option B could be I could show you more videos of these
Yeah.
fancy little things I made
Yeah.
since I forgot to do everything else. But I like it. I like it. I'm gonna keep on coming back. So you guys, you can catch us on Friday and tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow. Wait, today is Tuesday. Yeah.
Mhm.
The last thing I'll say is, oh yeah, here's that one fluffy thing. There we
I love them.
go.
Yeah.
That's
The
my jacket.
aesthetics.
I'll make you
It's
one. Yes.
all the aesthetics, so beautiful.
Oh, the aesthetics is yay. Oh, that was it? Oh, we're supposed to keep not seeing y'all. Bye.
Oh, was that the outro? Sorry, I will
Yeah,
not
I
speak.
guess.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Love you.